Alright, lesson 3. Here we go. It says you will need green pattern blocks. Well, actually, you don't. But you do need the triangular dot paper that you see right there in front of us. And we're going to do some kind of imagining or visualizing little triangles. Now up at the top, you can see we have a green triangle. And we're going to kind of imagine that we're going to use triangles like that. All three sides are equal in length. You can see the length of each side is 1. And what we're going to do here on the first arrow, we're going to make a pattern, and it's going to be an increasing pattern with these little triangle blocks. We're just going to draw them on the paper though. We're not going to actually pick up any little triangle blocks. So let's start by drawing. Let's draw the first triangle on there. And it's going to look like that. Alright, so if we draw one triangle, we can figure out what's called the perimeter. So look at the second arrow. What is the perimeter of that first figure? And we're going to call this figure 1. Actually, I'm going to use a different color for that. We'll use a red. This is a figure 1, or I can even put it inside if you want. Figure 1. It's like our first diagram. Let's put it that way. A figure kind of means diagram. So our first diagram, or our first figure, what is the perimeter? That means you have to add up all of the side lengths. So if I've got 3 sides, and each side is equal to 1, that's 3 times 1. Okay, so the perimeter is 3. So if we take a look at our chart that they have there, you can see that for figure number 1, the perimeter is 3. Now, I'm going to move that chart over to this blue area because the one that they've shown isn't big enough, so I want to show you a bigger one. So we're going to call this side the figure number, FIG with the number symbol, fig number, and then the other one is going to be perimeter. Perimeter is the distance around the edge of some object. And you add up all the sides to figure out that distance. Alright, so for figure 1, we discovered that the perimeter was 3. Well, we're going to put in figure 2. So that means we're going to draw another kind of figure, and we're going to put 2 triangles in there, and that will be figure 2. Alright, so I'm going to start off by kind of doing the same thing. I'm going to draw 1, and then I'm going to draw another triangle right beside it. Okay, and we're going to call this figure 2. I'll put a red 2 in there, so figure 2. Now I got to figure out the distance around the edge of that. And I'm talking the outside edge, not anything inside that figure, it's just the outside edge. So if I look at that, I can see, well, I've got a distance of 1 here, and this is a distance of 1, and this is a distance of 1, and this is a distance of 1. So that means 1 times 4, there's 4 sides there, 4 times 1 is 1. Or sorry, 4 times 1 is 4. Excuse me for that. 4 times 1 is 4. So my perimeter is 4. Let's draw figure 3. Figure 3, we're just going to add one more triangle. So I'm going to start off with my, I'm going to go back to my original shape that I had. I started off with a triangle kind of pointing upside down. Then I started with another triangle like that. I'm going to go across the top again, like that. And this is figure number 3. Figure 3, we got to figure out the distance around that edge, the outside edge. Alright, so if I look at this, that's a distance of 1, that's a distance of 1, that's a distance of 1. However, the top edge is actually 2. If you count, there's like 2 triangles that are touching each other there. So that's a distance of 2. And you add them all up, and you should get 5. Okay. Now, I've done the first 3 figures, and I can see that there's a pattern. There's a pattern developing. Okay. So if I continue the pattern, figure 4 should look, I'm just going to guess here, it should have a perimeter of 6, correct? That's the pattern that we're getting. The perimeter numbers are starting at 3 and then going up by 1 each time. So I'm guessing that it's going to be 6, but I'm going to draw it just to make sure. Alright, so I'm going to do figure 4 underneath these. I'll start with the same ones. There's 1 triangle, 2 triangles, 3 triangles, and I'm going to add another 4 triangles, all kind of joined together. That's figure 4. And I'm going to measure the distance around the outside edge. So on the bottom, I can see 2 triangles that are there. So each triangle has a side length of 1. If I've got 2 of those sides, that's 1 plus 1 is 2. On this side, I just have 1. And then at the top, again, the side length is 2. And this side is 1. You add them all up, and you get 6. Alright, so it matched the measurements that are here. If I do a 5th figure, I'm going to imagine that it's probably going to be a 7 for the perimeter, but I'm going to draw it out anyway just to make sure. There's 1 triangle, 2 triangles, 3 triangles, 4 triangles. Now I got to put a 5th triangle in there. And that's figure 5. Let's measure the perimeter. So I can see on the bottom I see 2. On the right side I see a distance of 1. On the very top I see a distance of 3. And I see a distance of 1. If you add those all up, you should get 7. 1 and 2 is 3. 3 and 1 is 4. 4 and 3 is 7. Okay? And the last one, figure 6, should have a perimeter of 8. So if I do that, and I'll do it on the very bottom here. 1, 2 triangles, 3 triangles, 4 triangles, 5 triangles, and 6 triangles all together. That's figure 6. And let's count the bottom side of this figure has a 3. The right hand side has 1. The top has 3. And the left hand side has a distance of 1. You add those all up and you will get 8. Alright, so basically we can see that there is a relationship here between the figure number and the perimeter. And you might say something like this. The perimeter is increasing by 1 each time. Or you can look at the figure number and you could say, oh, the figure number is increasing by 1 each time. Alright, so you could say things like that. Now, how is the perimeter, I'm looking right here at the very bottom, how is the perimeter related to the figure number? Well, you probably have to say, as the figure number increases by 1, the perimeter distance increases by 1. That's what you could say is how the relationship works.